Lincoln County Library System. Welcome to Getting Acquainted with Acrylics with Sadie Payne. Before class begins, I'd like to take a few moments to thank some of our sponsors and supporters. First, I'd like to thank the Lincoln County Library System and the facilitators across the county. Second, I'd like to thank the Lincoln County Library Foundation for monetary support. We'd also like to thank the Camera Senior Center, whose area we will be invading. So thank you very much. And last but not least, we'd like to thank the Creative Aging in Wyoming Public Libraries, which is a joint initiative of the Wyoming State Library, the Wyoming State Arts Council, and Lifetime Arts. The project was made possible through the generous support from the May and Stanley Smith Charitable Trust and the Wyoming Community Foundation. At any time, if you have questions, feel free to type it in the chat or contact an on-site facilitator. Thank you, and now let class begin. Enjoy.
Okay. Hi, everybody. It's good to be back. We're just going to do like a short recap before we get started. So we have 3 panels that have the sky, which is a dark blue that goes into a light blue. We have a snow section along the back skyline. We have the moon that is set out in the center panel, and then we have a second eye level line that is going to create the cast shadow of the gray. So this is where we are going to be starting from. We're going to try to accomplish putting in this snow level here so the last bottom half, and we're going to use some grays to bring in some terrain and some different levels, but it's not going to be very dark. And then we're going to put in some stars. These pictures here, I forgot to put the stars in, so we're going to put some stars in, and then at that point we will start putting in the trees. In Cokeville, one of our painters here had the idea of putting in a pack of wolves going through the trees. So just think of some ideas of what you would like to add to your winter's theme that will make it yours. Mine's more of a cityscape, so it might have like a bench, or maybe I'll put a little silhouette of a fountain, or something like that that's more prone to be in a city park or something like that. So we're going to start with the same colors that we had yesterday or Tuesday. So you're going to have white, you're going to have orange, you're going to have lemon yellow, and black. And of course, if you're going to use that slow dry fluid additive, you want to add that to your paint as well. So again, the white and the black, you're going to, well, the white you're going to have quite a bit, but the orange, the yellow, you want like maybe a dime size or a pea size, probably more of a dime size because we're covering a little bit more ground this time. than we did with just that small section. So put in about a dime size. So I'm going to make my orange a little bit bigger. And the same with your black, just because it won't take very much to create that shadowing. And if we need to do, if we make it to the trees, then we can add the black then. And then of course our white, and I would probably do probably double the amount that you normally do. So let me show you what I've got. Okay, so if you can, in the one panel, you can see how much white I have compared to the other colors. So just put those onto your plate. And we will be using the 1/2-inch brush to put in the snow. Okay, so let me know when you guys are ready. You have your paint on your plate. You should have your cup of water as well. And your paper towels. Okay. Okay, so we'll give you a few minutes to get set up, ready to go. If you have any questions that you've thought of over the last couple days, let me know and we'll get those answered. Or if you have any insights that you've learned or want to share with the group, you're welcome to do that as well. Okay, so camera is ready. How are the rest of you guys doing?
Things ready.
Things ready?
Star Valley's ready.
Star Valley's ready? So we just have Alpine.
Oh, they're ready.
Okay, so we're good to go. Alrighty. Okay, so we're going to pick up that white again and create that tint of orange and yellow. And so I'm going to kind of put some pretty good sized dabs of the orange and yellow into the white, because we're going to be covering a lot of ground with it, and we're just going to mix that in to get that light color. And I actually put a little too much in there, so I'm going to use some of the white at the top. So we're kind of looking for something like this. Let's see. Can you see that okay? So we're kind of making kind of a light peach, and we can actually add some of the white in there. I'm going to go to that middle panel. Okay, so as we're going along this gray edge, just kind of follow that rough outline that we did. So it could be straight if you have it straight, or with mine, I have quite a bit of dips and rising in my snow. And we're just gonna cover that whole bottom. And then if you can pick up some white to kind of add it into it.
The same color orange, just like you had before.
Yes, yeah. So you can kind of, let me see if I can get this without the glare and the lights. I don't know if, can you guys see that okay? So I've got a little bit of that peach here, and then I've kind of blended in some of the white. So don't be afraid to blend on your canvas. I like to use water. This is going to be a good place to use that medium if you've been using it. But you want to just cover that whole bottom part of each of the 3 canvases. And I'm going to actually add some more white to my plate. Oh no, we're good. I have my other one right here, so if you need it. So, yeah. So we can get some more of that white. Because basically it is snow that has that moonlight glowing on it. So you're just gonna come in and fill that in. Okay, so I've got my middle panel. I'm gonna start working on my left panel. And just go ahead and lay down those colors. White, tinted. And again, I'm just following the edge of my gray. If I go over it, that's fine. Because it will just add that much more of a shadow to it. Try to lift it up so that you can see what I am doing. And if you have like markings that say, for instance, you got some of the black on the bottom here, just cover it with the color. If it kind of has kind of a shadow to it, let it dry and just add a little bit more over the top of it, and it should take care of that. I'm also going to add just a little bit of yellow. So if you can see, I can add a little bit of yellow to it and just kind of blend that in. And it's going to create a little more color variation. And then I went over, don't know if you can see that. So I've got the yellow here, and then I've added some white just kind of underneath it. And you can start adding some of those tear-in spots, like little dips and hollows. And then we'll use the gray to bring those out a little bit more. And actually bring in a little bit of white along part of the where it connects with the gray. It will kind of give it some of it a stronger contrast from that cast shadow too. So if you can see, oh, I want to do it this way. So hopefully, no, I need to go closer. Okay, so you can see the yellow, you can see the white that I put in there. I've got some kind of drifting a little bit. I've added a little bit of white along that connection with the cast shadow to bring that contrast out. Can everybody see that okay? So I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of yellow to that middle one, the middle panel, here and there, and lighten up the edging against the cast shadow for that one spot. And you can line them up, so maybe you have a snowdrift that goes all the way across. So you can bring it down into that next panel. And I have some yellow there. And then add a little bit of white. To kind of give that color variation and some depth into it. And then use the white along that cast shadow. Make sure that it's lined up with the other panel. Got some more white. I got too much yellow. I'm going to take some of that off using some water. So again, just clean out your brush, put some water on it, and it will pick it up and wipe it off on your paper towel. So you can pick up some more. Okay, and I'm going to start working on the right side now. Using that same peachy white color. Some white. On the edge of my cast shadow. Again, if your brushes, you're struggling with your brushes and they might be losing some hairs, just add some water to your brush and it will kind of loosen that paint so it doesn't grab your bristles as much. So I need to add some more darker peach because I'm running out of that color. And this one I'm actually just blending onto the panel with what I've already got laid down. Got that corner, it's fairly white. I want to bring that over from the other side. Oops. Got a little too much paint on that corner. Okay, and then I'm going to use the white and add to that contrast on the shadowing. And I've got to line up my panel to make sure that we're kind of on the same page with the one next to it. Need to add a little more each. Blend in on that side where it's a little bit dry. And come in and again. Create that highlight, that contrast with your cast shadow. Okay, I've got to add a little bit of yellow to the right panel. Come in like that. Maybe I have yellow that comes down here and connects to the panel. And maybe I want to have a really yellowy corner over here. Blend that in a little more. Okay, so I'm going to hold off to at there until you guys are ready for the next step. How many of you guys have got one panel done?
Payne does. Start out. Kimber. We all have one then.
Okay, what about two panels?
Payne, Kimber, Star Valley. So most of
So
them.
it's almost, okay. Is there anybody that's done with all three of your panels? Okay.
It's too dark.
So
Cofield asked if their picture was too dark. With your moon as orange as it is, I don't think so. I think it will just add just a lot more. I really like it. I really like it. Yeah. Yeah.
So Alpine has 2 panels mostly, a few with 3 done.
Okay. Okay. So just give me a thumbs up when you guys are ready to move on to the next step, and we'll go from there.
Payne's ready.
Okay,
Camera's ready.
cool. So Thane and Kemmer's ready.
Star Valley's ready.
Star Valley's ready. Okay, and Alpine's ready. Okay, so this let's do the glow around the moon. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to have that peachy color that you've been working with. Okay, so it's about the medium. You're going to add quite a bit of water. So it's like a really light really transparent, I guess is what I'm looking for. And you're going to want a paper towel handy, because we'll be picking up some of that paint as we put it around the moon. Okay, so I picked up this watered down peach. I don't know if you can see it very well. I'm going to add just a little bit more water. And I'm just going to take my 1/2 inch brush, and I'm just going to kind of go around the moon, kind of 1/4 of the way. So you have 1/4 in the moon and 3/4 around the moon. And you're just going to take that glaze, that wash, and go around the moon. If you need to pick up some more pigment, go ahead and pick up some more pigment. Okay, and once you have that around your moon, you're going to take your paper towel and just kind of gently rub it. You don't want to totally wipe off the glaze itself, but you want to get rid of that, that outline. And it might, if you need to add more water to it to lessen it, you're just going to kind of come out and I don't know if you can see, kind of, we've got that ring around it. I'm going to actually pick up my brush, clean it out. And you're just going to lightly go around that edge and just make it a little bit indistinct. You don't want to totally take it out, but you don't want to have it totally in either. And you can use your paper towel, just kind of go rub back and forth. I'm going to pick up some more water. Kind of manipulate that edge again. Can you guys see that okay? Some more water. See if I can do it a little bit closer. So I'm just kind of working that line out. And if you get to a point where it's starting to come together with you, take your brush and just go out from the moon itself. So I still have some lines I need to clear up. So I'm using that water to lighten that line. And I'm just kind of picking up the color and bringing it out. Bill, can you see this okay? You doing okay, Dennis?
Yeah, I think.
Okay, and then I'm just gonna continue. You might pick up just a little bit and start adding, going from the inside out. And this is, it's very, very, very transparent, so. Need to turn it so you guys can see. Actually have a line still up there. So you guys can see my line. I'm gonna try to blend that in. Okay, is everybody doing okay? Let me know if you have any concerns with this. Bring in my towel a little bit and just clean up that edge. Stab. Okay, so this is what it's going to kind of look like. Okay, so mine's a little spotty, so I'm going to go ahead and add another layer. So each layer that you add will add just a little bit more of that glow to it. So I'm just going to come in mostly on this side. And you can also use your finger. A lot of times my finger will work better than what the towel will. You can also use your towel or your finger. Add more. I still have that one spot that's like darker than the rest. Like right there. So I'm gonna try to put a little more, as my brush is not leaving much color there.
How far out are you going to?
Okay, so Cofield asked how far out. I'm going around the moon. So I'm roughly going a 1/2 inch on this side, and then on this side I've actually gone into like an inch on this side right here. So between a 1/2 inch to an inch around the moon. Okay, if it looks kind of spotty, I mean, don't panic, because once you start putting in the trees, your focus totally moves away from that into another, it just unifies it all together. So, don't worry about if it looks spotty. Okay, the other libraries, how are you guys doing with this part? Glazes are kind of tricky. Payne's good.
Star Valley is,
Back and forth. Okay, so
Yeah.
Star Valley.
Alpine's still working.
Okay, okay. So it's just a really light. So if you put a lot of pressure on your brush, it's going to wipe it right off. So that might help a little bit if you just use a slight pressure when you add that glaze to it. Okay, so let me know when you guys have reached a point where we can go to the next step, or if you have concerns or questions, let me know. Or is your ground still wet? Okay, does anybody need help? We're good?
Star Valley's ready.
Okay, Star Valley's ready?
And Payne was ready, so those two.
Okay, so Star Valley and Payne are ready. Would it help if I put it up closer? So you guys can have an idea of how thick the glaze is. Are you guys good?
I'm just working, so.
Okay. Okay. Are you doing okay?
I caught on the ground.
Cool.
Well, I didn't even mean white.
Maybe you want to do a double ring. You could also do that if you wanted to add another ring, doing the same thing, but you would, you wouldn't connect it to the inner ring. But if you wanted to do something like that, you could do that as well. Do we still need some time for the glaze around the moon?
Camera's ready.
Okay, so camera's ready. Alpine, how are you guys doing?
Ready.
Okay, so this is gonna be the fun part. We're gonna put in the stars now. So you're gonna need your number 1 brush. It is a round, small one. Let's see if I can get this in the spot where you can see it. And it has a number 1 on it. Okay, so you can apply so we're gonna use the same colors as what we did with the snow. We're gonna use the orange, the yellow, and a white. But you can use both ends of your brush. So if you want to get some really small stars, you can use this end. For bigger ones, you just dip it in the paint and then wherever you want. So go ahead and just put the stars where you want to. If you want to add the Big Dipper, the Little Dipper, I don't know any of the other ones. Maybe you could put a North Star in there somewhere. But just put your stars in using those colors that we used earlier. I'm going to pick up some white, a little bit of orange and yellow to get that really light tint. Okay, remember that it also dries a little bit darker than what it looks like on your plate. So I'm just going to come in and I'm just going to put some dots here and there. Maybe I'll do a bigger one on the other side. And I like to put my finger down on the sky to help kind of balance when I add those stars. You can roll your brush in your paint. So if you look, you can roll it in there and it will bring it to a strong point for you to do those stars. And you don't want to get too close to the skyline because you're starting to get more of the light and you're not going to see the stars as much. So I've got some on here with the paintbrush. I'm going to go ahead and use the other end and pick up some paint and I'm just going to dab it. So you're going to have a bigger star using the end of the brush, but it's a little bit easier to apply to. And then once you get down to the end of the paint, then you can get smaller stars as well. So you can do either way, and you're just going to put those over all the panels. Maybe you want to put a cluster of stars together. I'm just going to put them here and there. And it's not going to be a problem either if you don't have a perfect round, because if you really look at stars, they're always, well, some of them, I guess the stars twinkle, but the planets don't. So you're going to have some odd different shapes anyway with real stars. So just have fun putting them in there. What is it that Bob Ross would say? We'll put in some little happy stars.
Yeah. Need a little happy star here.
A little happy star.
And a little friendly one by it.
Yes, yes. Okay, so I've got 2 panels almost done. I'll put just a few here. And then finish my last panel over here. And again, it's going to be unified when we start putting those trees in. So it's just gonna all come together. I wonder if I could put the Big Dipper in there somewhere.
How is it?
What's that?
I did.
Oh, we already had somebody put in the Big Dipper, yes. So if it's like, maybe I can put it right there. Yeah. And I'm not going to put very many stars around the moon, just because it's its own star.
Here, let me show you on camera.
Oh, fun. Yes, I like, oh, the Big Dipper. Is that the Big Dipper?
Yeah.
Cool, that looks so awesome. Yes. Yes, love it. Okay, so when you guys feel comfortable with your stars, let me know and we'll start on the shadowing in the snow on the bottom half of the winter scene.
Oh, camera's ready.
Cameras ready?
Oh, I have one that wants to show you.
Oh, fun. I'd love to see it.
Oh, let me replace it.
Oh, so this is Alpine. Oh, I like it. I like it.
Let me take.
How did you get all of those stars all together like that? That is so awesome. Fun, fun. Oh yeah, so Cokeville, they come up with the idea, so it might be easier to do your stars if you turn it upside down. That's a great idea, yes. Yes.
So she taps her brush with another brush like we learned in the watercolor class.
Oh, cool. Okay, so you tap the brush against another one to get the splattering effect. I love that. That's much easier than probably trying to do it all with one brush. Thank you for sharing that. With my junior high, we use toothbrushes and we put them in a big splatter box. So it all stays in one spot. Okay, so let me know when you guys are done with all the stars so that we can start on the next step. Give me a thumbs up.
Star Valley. Payne.
Star Valley's good,
Shimmer,
things. Okay. So Alpine, are you, yep, Alpine. Okay, so everybody's ready. So let's go back to our 1/2 inch brush. And we're going to create a really light gray. So I'm gonna bring over quite a bit of white, and you want it fairly loose or wet. And then just add just a titch of the black. Just, it doesn't take much with the black, and you can kind of mix it in with some of the peach as well. So it gives it that warm look. But you can see that it's a very, very fine light gray, like a heather gray. Okay, and we're gonna come in and just kind of highlight some of those areas. So I've got my brush loaded too much. I'm gonna get some of the paint out, and I'm just gonna kind of come in there and add that light gray. So maybe I have a snowdrift that follows from one side and goes over to the other. I'm going to use that gray, and you're going to kind of, if you can use the water or your mixing medium to kind of blend it in as well. You're going to use that gray to kind of give a little bit of shadowing to your Terran.
How much of it did you just here and there or just?
Yes, so so Cokeville asked how much I do it, so here and there. So Dennis, this is just,
Oh, yeah.
I follow some of the contour, so not too much, but you still want to be able to add some interest to your ground, and you're just going to place that all into each of those panels. So in this one, I've actually got 2, and we can add a little bit of darker gray. So we'll add a little bit darker, but we're just going to get the foundation with the light. So you can see with this one, I've got kind of a drift that comes along right next to that cast shadow, and then I've got one that kind of comes down a little bit low it. So it's like kind of bumpy Terran, and that's what we're trying to create, is having that bumpy Terran. Make sure your panels are lined up when you go over into the other panels. So maybe I want to have a really deep shadow right there, and a deep shadow right here. And they can go anywhere. You just decide where you want to put them. And I'm going to put kind of a drift on this side that's fairly large. And I need to add some on this side. I'm going to go along the top of that white.
They can't see it.
Oh, they can't. Okay. So, yeah. So I go along that white edge that I had. And maybe I have a little dip right underneath the cast shadow. And I'm going to put one kind of below the yellow that I've got in there. And I'm going to go ahead and add a little more on this corner as well. Can you guys see that okay? Okay, once you have that in there, just add a little bit more of your black to get kind of a darker gray, but you don't want it real dark, but just a shade darker than the heather. And then you're going to come in and kind of accent the one that you put in there. And I need to add a little more water so that I can blend it in with what we have. So you can start seeing where those grays are going to show up a little more. I'm going to add a little bit above where I had the light. That's more water. I had another one right here. I need to add just a little more black. That's too much black. Water. Too much paint. I'm going to lift some of that off. And kind of blend that darker right in there. And then I'm going to bring it over onto my last panel on the left. You see that okay? And add some underneath the light gray that I have. Gray. And more water. And there to kind of connect those right there. And then add a little bit of white. So if you want to add some white, some more white, yeah, definitely utilize those colors to kind of blend them in. Got a little too much dark right there. Blend that into the snow. Go there. Okay, so when you feel comfortable with what you've got there, let me know and we'll go from there. go to the next step.
Alpine is ready.
Alpine's ready? Okay.
Star Valley is ready.
Star Valley is ready.
Camera's ready.
Okay, so camera's ready. So we just Thane. How are you doing, Thane?
They're ready.
Okay, so we're good to go. Okay, so this step, you're going to need a pencil. And basically, what we are going to be doing is we're going to be drawing just lines of where we want the trees at. Don't worry about how thick they are or how thin, but you just want, and they don't have to be totally straight. I think I've got some in here that have, so I've got some branches here that are coming out, some branches here. And I've got one that kind of bows this way, that way. Some of them are fairly straight. This one I've got split. So you're just gonna use your imagination and start sketching in those lines. So you wanna start from underneath the cast shadow. So I've got one that starts there. And the longest that I have goes to about a 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch from the bottom. So you're gonna vary all of the bottom of those trees. If you have them all the same, then the cast shadows will be all the same, and it will take away from your variety or the interest of your work. So you want to kind of bounce those ends just wherever you want in the painting. So pick your driest board, because some of them I'm sure is still a little bit wet. So mine is the right one. So, and with the moon, you want to make sure that you don't totally cover the moon. So with this center one, I'll show it to you again. I just have it clipping some of the edges, coming from the bottom and from the side. So you want to try to keep as much of your moon open as possible to catch the viewer's eye. Okay. So if your middle one is the best or the driest, then you can go ahead and start with that one. I'm going to, I'm just going to kind of follow what I've got on my other one to make it a little bit easier. So I'm going to start about a 1/2 inch below my cast shadow, and I'm just going to come in and draw a line, and it can be wobbly, it can be straight. I have another one that's down farther. I'm gonna come in and maybe I want to bow it the other direction. And they have one that comes down, say down in this drift right here. So I'm gonna bring in this one, and it's gonna be fairly straight. And maybe I have a branch that comes off. And if you do the branches, if you do them in the light areas, they're really going to pop out. If you do it during, in the center of your silhouettes of your skyline, they're going to be a little bit harder to see, as well as at the top where it's darker up here. So you want to keep those splits closer to your lighter
Can you
areas.
go closer?
Oh, yes. So can you see that okay? So you want to do your splits in the warmer or the lighter areas so that they show up. Okay, let's go ahead and we're going to put one. This one's going to be kind of in between those. I'm going to come in and just add a straight one there. And you're going to go all the way towards the top. Nearly all of the ones that I got in these go all the way to the very top. The only one that is short is in the middle panel. You can see that I have two short ones here. And I've also got a short one on this side that's kind of a little bit fuller. Let's see, right. Okay, can you guys see that okay? So this one is a little bit fuller. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 branches off of this one. And I also have an owl that's sitting in the tree. So you're just going to make a variety of trees along there. So I'm going to leave an open spot here. And maybe I'll go even lower with this one. I'm just going to bring it, and maybe it goes towards this direction. I'm going to do one just next to it, and it's just going to be crooked. And maybe I have a branch that comes off right there in that light blue area. And then I'm going to put another one. Actually, I'm going to put this one about a ½ inch from the bottom. And this is going to probably be a larger tree. But I'm going to go straight up with like maybe a little bump in there. And then I'm going to put 2 thin ones. One right here. And one just a little bit lower. So you can see that I've used the full space of the bottom of the painting, but I've got varying lengths to it to give interest. And some of them line up with my snowdrifts. Some of them totally stay away from the snowdrifts. And you're going to do that for each of the panels. I think my middle one's the best one right now. So with this one, again, you want to make sure that your tree does not go totally or cover up the moon. You can use it to give interest to it, but don't totally cover it up. So I'm just going to start with a really thin one that's going to come up and just kind of go along the edge of the moon there. Can you see that okay? Let's see. Can you go back? Can everybody see that okay? Okay. And then I'm going to add one that's kind of in the middle. This one's going to be a little bit thicker. And I'm going to lean it away from the moon.
If I give you a Sharpie,
Oh,
would you be willing to use a
Yes,
Sharpie?
yes, I can use a Sharpie. I do have one here.
Because then that way they can maybe see it a little better.
Okay, we can definitely do that. Okay, so I'm going to go over that line that I did for the first tree. And then this one's going to be a little bit larger, but I'm going to lean it over towards the side of the moon. And then I'm going to add kind of in between those two. I'm just going to do a straight upright one and another one right close to it. They're not gonna be very big, but they're gonna be close together. And then I'm gonna have a closer one to the bottom. Well, about 3/4 down. Gonna come in, and this one is going to lean off to the side. And then I've got a small one that's actually going to start almost towards the cast shadow. I'm gonna bring it up. And this one I want to split off. So I'm gonna add a branch there. I'm gonna add a branch here that maybe comes up like that. Okay, so can you see that okay, or the glare? There, can you see that? Okay. Okay, and then I'm going to add one that's closer to the bottom. This is gonna be a bigger one, okay? So you are taking in perspective. So your trees that are lower down to the bottom are gonna be closer to you. So they're gonna be a lot larger than, let's say, this one farther away is going to be. So keep that in mind when you start painting them in. Maybe this one has like a little friend that we're gonna just go right straight with it. And then we have this one that's kind of in the middle, and maybe this one just kind of bends towards the other two. Okay, so I've got that side done, and I'm going to come over on this side. And I'm gonna kind of put a medium-sized tree. This one is gonna be quite as straight, it's gonna kind of go all over. And I'm gonna do a small, maybe just a small teeny one that has little branches on that one. And then a really thin one that's going to go just straight up. And take into consideration your silhouette background too. So that's going to leave kind of an open spot right in here when we start painting in our trees. Okay, I'm gonna start on my last one, my last panel. And if you guys have already, how many of you guys have got your trees already in?
Alpine, some people are in Alpine and Star Valley.
So Alpine and Star Valley. Okay, so I'm actually gonna have a branch come off of this one in the center and bring it over into the other. So you can also do that as well to tie those in. And I'll hurry up and add the ones here so that we can get started with the next step. Because we have about 15 minutes left. I'm gonna bring this down a little bit more. That one, gonna go straight up. I'm gonna have this one kind of branch off a little bit there. One right there. Got a big one that I'm gonna put here. Gonna be straight up. And then I'm gonna walk these ones just right up the end, and then maybe I'll put another bushy one in here. Okay. So where are you guys at this point? We have two libraries ready to go. So Alpine's ready to go.
Star Valley's ready.
Star Valley's ready. Hammer, how are you doing? Go ahead and,
We're seeing. Staying good.
how is Payne doing?
Smiles. They have smiles, but they're.
So you guys are ready, or?
Not quite. They're
Okay.
doing the
Okay.
half and half.
I'm just going to write in line with the marker. Okay, so let me know when you guys are ready.
Camera's ready.
Camera's ready. So we just have Payne left.
Dane's ready.
Okay. Okay, so with this one, you're going to use your number 8 brush. So it's the one that we use to do the silhouette and the grays in the moon. And basically you're going to do straight black. And I would use your medium, slow dry medium or water to make it a little bit smoother, and use that flat brush end and just come in and paint in your trees. So this one's going to be a thin one, and you're just going to start painting them in. Don't worry about them being perfectly straight or not have any bumps in them, because real life trees are not that way. And you're just going to start filling in those trees. So I just made that branch a little bit bigger, so I'm going to need to make that one a little bit wider. And when you get to the bottom, kind of square the bottom off a little bit, because we're going to be putting in the cast shadow, and we're also going to kind of put a highlight in there. So you'll want kind of a square base to add that to it. So let me see if I can do that. Oh, and if you work from your left to the right, then you're not smearing your trees if you're going the other direction, depending on if you're right-handed or left-handed. So let's try this. This one right here is going to be thicker. So I'll kind of show you how I square off that bottom. So you can kind of see how I squared it off. Okay. And just fill in all of your trees. And I like to turn it sideways, just so that I can use the flat edge of your brush to straighten both sides of your tree. So I'm going to bring that all the way up. That one's leaning. Turn it back the other direction to get the top. I'm actually going to make that a little bit thicker. I'm gonna make this one just a little bit thicker and let it get thinner as I go towards the moon. So that I don't take out too much of the moon, but it still adds that point of interest. Okay, this one's going to definitely have a bigger base to it where it's closer. And I've got an angle on this one that's going to go away from the moon. Turn it over and then, so if you want to leave like a hole in one of your trees so that you can see through it, you can put like silhouettes of like animals and possibly even put some eyes in there. So that's an option. And I've kind of left some of them with a really rough edge to them too. Maybe you want to leave some like dead leaves off of one side of the branch. That's another option. So if you get your tree, as it gets closer, you can actually use the width of your brush to help you keep the width that you're looking for. So I'm gonna have that one quite a bit thicker as it's going up. And that has a branch that I'm going to make one of these a little bit bigger. I'm just gonna blend in with that tree.
So we're to 5 minutes.
Okay, so we're at 5 minutes before 6. So we'll just finish as much as we can within the 5 minutes, and then come back and work on the trees on next Tuesday. Does anybody have any questions or concerns or insights? Anything they want to share? Maybe I want to nobby on that one. And we'll take our time with these in the next session. So don't hurry. Just take your time, and you can think of some ideas of what you want to add into this. As far as like making it your own, if you so one of the Cokeville people, they were thinking of putting in a wolf pack running through the trees, which I thought was way cool. So think of some things that you can put into your picture. I'm gonna have to do a little bit of research because a lamp post wouldn't really, I mean, it's in a park, but where you have the moon, it will take away from the moon. So I've got to come up with something else besides that for a cityscape.
Kimmer said thank you.
You're welcome, Kimmer. It's been a joy to be able to do this. Okay, so I've got my middle panel done. So we have about 3 minutes left. Is that what we've got?
Yeah.
Okay. If you need to get a hold of me, you can reach me through my email. My email is spayne@lcsd2.org, Lincoln County School District 2.org. If you have any questions or thoughts, shoot me an email. If there's something that you want me to do, to work on, or would like to see, just let me know, and we'll try to work it into our classes. So. Okay, so we'll see you guys next Tuesday. You guys have a great weekend. See ya.